When you see an emergency vehicle approaching while using its flashing lights, you must A. Maintain your speed and stay in your lane until the vehicle has passed. B. Move into the right lane and drive slowly until the vehicle has passed. C. Pull over to the curb or edge of the road and stop until the vehicle has passed. C. Pull over to the curb or edge of the road and stop until the vehicle has passed. If you see an emergency vehicle approaching while using its flashing lights, pull over to the right edge of the road and stop. Position yourself parallel to the curb. On one-way streets, drive toward the road edge nearest you. Regulatory signs are A. Green, B. Yellow, C. White. C. White. Regulatory signs inform drivers of specific laws that must be obeyed. Displayed laws may be about traffic direction, lane use, turning, speed, parking, or special situations. Regulatory signs are commonly white squares or rectangles with black, red, or green letters or symbols. The driver should drive with both hands on the steering wheel, approximately in the A. 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock positions, B. 11 o'clock and 6 o'clock positions, C. 7 o'clock and 5 o'clock positions. A. 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock positions. Looking at the steering wheel as a clock face, drivers should place the left hand at 9 o'clock and the right hand at 3 o'clock. This sign means A. Do not drink and drive. B. Slippery when wet. C. Road curves ahead.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
Water on the road can cause a vehicle to hydroplane. Your car may hydroplane at speeds as low as A. 45 miles per hour, B. 35 miles per hour, C. 40 miles per hour, B. 35 miles per hour. Hydroplaning occurs when there is standing water on a roadway. At speeds up to 35 miles per hour, most tires will channel water away from the tire. As your speed increases past 35 miles per hour, tires cannot channel the water as well and your tires may start to lose contact with the road and ride over the water like a set of water skis. You want to make a right turn at the corner. A pedestrian with a guide dog is at the corner ready to cross the street in front of you. Before making your right turn, you should A. Turn off your engine until the person crosses the street. B. Tell the pedestrian when to cross the street. C. Wait until the person crosses the street. C. Wait until the person crosses the street. Pedestrians using guide dogs or white canes, with or without a red tip, must be given the right of way at all times. Streets and highways are most slippery. A. When it has been raining hard for several hours. B. When they are clean and dry. C. Just after it starts to rain. Before changing lanes or attempting to pass another vehicle, you should A. Check your blind spots and mirrors. B. Signal your intention before changing lanes. C. All of the above. C. All of the above. Every time you want to change lanes or otherwise move your vehicle to the right or left, signal to alert other drivers to your intentions. Always check your mirrors and turn your head to check your blind spot before attempting any lateral move. You are crossing an intersection and an emergency vehicle is approaching while using its siren and flashing lights. You should A. Stop immediately in the intersection until it passes. B. Pull to the right of the intersection and stop. C. Continue through the intersection, pull to the right, and stop. C. Continue through the intersection, pull to the right, and stop. If you are in an intersection when you see an emergency vehicle approaching while using its flashing lights and/or siren, continue through the intersection and then drive to the right and stop. You must yield the right of way to any police vehicle, fire engine, ambulance, or other emergency vehicle using a siren or flashing lights. When driving at night, you should A. Always use your high beams. B. Look directly at the headlights of an oncoming vehicle. C. Increase your following distance. C. Increase your following distance. Driving at night is more hazardous than daytime driving because the lowered visibility makes it difficult to judge speed, distances, and other potential hazards. Increase your following distance to help prevent a potential collision if the vehicle in front of you should stop abruptly. Use your headlights when driving at night, following the rules for proper usage of high beams and low beams. This road sign means A. Bicycle crossing. B. Stop only if other cars are approaching. C. Yield the right of way to pedestrians. A. Bicycle crossing. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. These signs alert drivers to areas where bicycles may be crossing. Before stopping your vehicle at a traffic signal or sign, you should A. Press down hard on the accelerator. B. Check your mirrors for surrounding traffic. C. Set the parking brake. B. Check your mirrors for surrounding traffic. When stopping your vehicle on the roadway, first check your mirrors for traffic. Be aware of surrounding drivers as you release the accelerator and allow your vehicle to slow. Move your foot to the brake pedal and press with steady pressure for a smooth stop. When parallel parking, a vehicle's wheels should be A. Within 2 feet of the curb. B. Within 18 inches of the curb. C. Within 1 foot of the curb. B. Within 18 inches of the curb. If stopping at a curb to park, you must be within 18 inches of the curb. Only park where it is safe and legal to do so. When parking your vehicle on any hill, A. One of your rear wheels should touch the curb. B. Use your parking brake and leave the vehicle in park. C. Your front wheels should be parallel to the road, if there is no curb. B. Use your parking brake and leave the vehicle in park. When parking on a hill, you should always leave your vehicle in gear or in the park position. If there is no curb, you should turn your front wheels so that the vehicle will roll away from the center of the road if the brakes fail. If there is a curb, the front wheels should be turned toward it, if headed downhill, or away from and gently touching it, if headed uphill. If your car's suspension is bad, it can cause A. Vehicle control problems. B. Squealing brakes. C. Slack in the steering. A. Vehicle control problems. Your suspension helps you control your vehicle and provides a comfortable ride over varying road surfaces. If your vehicle bounces a lot after driving over a bump, or is generally hard to control, you may need new suspension parts. If you approach a stopped school bus that has its lights flashing and signal arm extended, you should A. Stop. B. Proceed at 15 miles per hour if no children are present. C. Proceed at normal speed, but watch for children. A. Stop. If you approach a stopped school bus that has its lights flashing and arm extended, you must come to a full stop and remain stopped until the signal arm is pulled back and the bus resumes motion. This law applies whether you are traveling in the same direction as the bus or if you are approaching from the opposite side of the street. If you approach an intersection and you are not in the proper lane to make a right or left turn, you should A. Signal the direction you want to go and wait for a gap. B. Stop and wait until the way is clear before turning. C. Continue to the next intersection to make the turn. C. Continue to the next intersection to make the turn. You should never try to make a turn from the wrong lane. If you aren't in the proper lane, drive to the next intersection and make the turn from the proper lane there. Circle back if necessary. When turning left from a two-way street onto a one-way street, you should A. Turn into any lane. B. Turn into first lane. C. Turn into second lane. B. Turn into first lane. When making any turn, turn from the lane closest to the direction you wish to travel into the first available legal lane. On a turn from a two-way to a one-way street, this means you should turn into the first lane. Vehicles stopped behind a school bus with its red lights flashing must remain stopped until A. All students are off the bus. B. The stop arm is retracted. C. The stop arm is retracted and the bus resumes motion. C. The stop arm is retracted and the bus resumes motion. When a school bus is flashing its red lights and has its stop arm extended, motorists must come to a full stop until the lights are turned off, the stop arm is withdrawn, and the bus begins moving again. Backing your vehicle is A. Always dangerous. B. Dangerous if you have a helper. C. Only dangerous in large vehicles. A. Always dangerous. Backing up is always dangerous because it is hard to see behind your vehicle. Use extra caution when backing up. You are preparing to exit the interstate. When should you start reducing your speed? A. About halfway through the deceleration lane. B. As you approach the deceleration lane. C. Immediately upon entering the deceleration lane. As you enter into a roundabout, you should slow down and A. Yield to any crossing pedestrians and bicyclists. B. Yield to any car already within the roundabout. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. When entering a roundabout, you must yield to pedestrians, bicyclists, and traffic already in the roundabout. You may pass a vehicle when A. You are on a hill or curve. B. You are on a road with a solid line next to your lane. C. You are on a road with a broken line next to your lane. C. You are on a road with a broken line next to your lane. A single broken line indicates that drivers may cross from either lane to change lanes. Dashed yellow lines alongside solid yellow lines indicate that passing is permitted from the lane next to the broken line, but not from the lane next to the solid line. Only change lanes when it is safe to do so. The first thing that alcohol affects is A. Vision. B. Judgment. C. Balance. B. Judgment. Alcohol reduces all of the important abilities you need to drive safely. Alcohol goes from your stomach to your blood, then from your blood to all other parts of your body. Alcohol affects the areas of your brain that control judgment and skill. A curb painted red means A. Loading zone. B. The area is reserved for picking up or dropping off passengers. C. No parking, standing, or stopping. C. No parking, standing, or stopping. You may not stop, stand, or park at a red painted curb. There are oncoming vehicles to your left and a row of parked vehicles to your right. You should steer A. Closer to the oncoming vehicles than the parked vehicles. B. Closer to the parked vehicles than the oncoming vehicles. C. A middle course between the oncoming and parked vehicles. C. A middle course between the oncoming and parked vehicles. If there are oncoming vehicles to your left and a row of parked vehicles to your right, the best thing to do is to split the difference. Steer a middle course between the oncoming cars and the parked cars. Drivers are required to obey instructions from A. Security guards patrolling parking lots. B. Other drivers whose vehicles are broken down on the roadway. C. Flaggers, signal persons, at construction sites. C. Flaggers, signal persons, at construction sites. Drivers must obey special signs or instructions given by flaggers. They are in place to keep drivers and workers safe. It is illegal to park A. Within 15 feet of a fire hydrant. B. Within 50 feet of a railroad crossing. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. There are a number of locations where it is illegal for drivers to park their vehicles. Drivers may not park within 15 feet of a fire hydrant or within 50 feet of a railroad crossing. A driver should A. Stare directly in front of their car. B. Only focus on the middle of the road. C. Watch beside, ahead, and to the rear of their car. C. Watch beside, ahead, and to the rear of their car. A driver should watch beside, ahead, and to the rear of their car. To be a good driver, you must know what is happening all around your vehicle. When you are facing a green light and there are pedestrians in the intersection. A. You must yield the right of way to pedestrians. B. You have the right of way over pedestrians. C. Pedestrians must wait for you to cross. A. You must yield the right of way to pedestrians. When facing a green light, you must yield to pedestrians and vehicles already in the intersection. Drivers must yield to pedestrians when turning on a steady green signal.